This video is going to look at amending text, making changes to a document that has already been typed. Do please be aware that everything we look at can be applied to text before it is written. So it doesn't have to be written before you can make these changes. You can apply these settings or formats before you start typing in. But, some people find it easiest to achieve once they've selected, or once they've typed it in. In order to make these changes to pre-written text, we do have to make a selection. To begin with, I'm going to select everything, and if I'd decided that the font was incorrect, I could change the font. I'm going to turn it into Comic Sans, and there we are. If I wanted it all in size 15, do remember there isn't a 15 there, it's a 16 and a 14, but if I wanted 15 in particular, I could, whilst the text is highlighted in the number box, just type in 15, press enter, and it would apply that change. What we're going to look now is more of the buttons in the font group. And in this instance, I'm just going to highlight the first sentence. So this is the font group in the Home ribbon. The first button we're going to look at is the bold button, and make the selected text bold. So if I click on that, it makes the text slightly more fat or more dark. So it embellishes the text and it makes it stand out from the rest of the text because it is slightly larger. We can also italicize text, italicize the selected text, and that just makes it slant to the right. We can also underline. Do be aware, in previous versions of Word, with the underline button, all you could do was get that single line under the text. We can now, with the arrow next to the underline, select a different type of underline style. So if you wanted a little wibbly line, you could have that. If you wanted a double underline, we could select that. That's embellishing text. We have a lot more, many more functions available to us. If I highlight this word dog, this button is strike through. I'll draw a line through the text. This one is subscript, create small letters below the text baseline. So you see the dog gets really small. Or we have superscript, which creates small letters above the line of the text. We also have change case. So in this instance, if I highlight again this, if I highlight this whole paragraph, with the change case button, we've got sentence case. Sentence case means that every sentence will start with a capital. We have lowercase, so every word will be starting with a lowercase word. Uppercase, so every word is in uppercase. Capitalize each word, which means every word will start with a capital. And then toggle case, which means every time we have a capital it will be lowercase, and every lowercase word will be uppercase, which decides that every single word is incorrectly spelt because it's gone mad. I'm going to change that back to sentence case. Oh. Again, like I say, you do have to have it selected after it's been written to make changes. We also have the highlighter pen. So if I've got nothing selected, I can select the highlighter and drag across some text to highlight it. If I have text selected and then click on the highlighter pen, it will highlight just that text. We can also change the color that text is written in with this next button. If you click on the icon the A with a line underneath, it will change the font color to whichever color is displayed beneath the A in this instance, and by default it's red. But again, this is a dual function button, so if I click on the drop down arrow, this opens a little swatch where I can choose the color that's going to be applied. We can click on more colors and that will open the color swatch, so I could choose a very specific color. Look at these two buttons now. The first, the A with an arrow pointing upwards, increases font size. The A with an arrow pointing down decreases font size. The clear formatting button, if I highlight everything, gets rid of all formatting changes that we've made and sets it back to the default Calibri at 11. So if you wanted to get rid of all of this formatting that you'd applied. Something that we've not looked at yet is the undo and redo buttons. Undo and redo, or undo especially, is one of the best tools in Word. It means that we can go through changes that we've made and undo them. Again, this is a dual function button. If I click on the icon itself, it undoes every change that I've made in chronological order. If I click on the drop down arrow, then it gives me a list of all of the changes I've made, and as I mouse down that, I can undo all of these options in one go. If I wanted to reapply them, I then click on the redo button, and that reapplies those changes. That's the undo and redo buttons. Undo is Control Z for the shortcuts. Redo is Control Y on the shortcuts. So that's editing text through selection. And again, like I say, if I just go down the line and start typing, if I had text and I knew it needed to be in bold, and I knew it needed to be underlined, and I knew it needed to be in blue, I can apply these changes before I start typing. And it will keep on typing in that style, that format, until I turn these options off. Close that, and set the font color to black. Don't know what that came back on. That's turning off the options. So, to change text that has already been typed, we have to select it and then choose the option. To apply an option to text that has yet to be written, we just turn on that option and start typing. So that's making basic amendments to text.